Dr. Scott of the Madison School of Professional Development here again to discuss leadership and leadership best practices. First, let's define leadership. We can define leadership as the process of leading others. Or, more specifically, we might define leadership as an applied set of skills that inspires others to work together and achieve shared goals. We can think about leadership through theoretical frameworks, such as the transformational leadership theory or the contingency leadership theories. We can also think about leadership through leadership styles, such as autocratic leadership style, or democratic leadership style, or even situational leadership style. We can also think about leadership as a set of characteristics, such as leaders are trustworthy, empowering, intelligent, sincere, resilient, and emotionally intelligent. Or we can think about leadership as a set of skills, such as leaders are good communicators and good listeners. Leaders are good managers. Leaders demonstrate empathy, but leaders also demand our best, etc. If theoretical approaches, leadership styles, leadership characteristics, or skill sets interest you, then I encourage you to check out our other YouTube videos. We've done deeper dives into leadership principles, which you can find on our YouTube channel at Madison Education Group MSPD. I also encourage you to check out my Wednesday leadership blog, which you can access from our website, meg-spd.com, where I've highlighted these topics as well. Now, no matter which framework for thinking about leadership we prefer, one of the key elements of each framework is an emphasis on identifying leadership skills to help us become better leaders ourselves, or to train others to lead. This usually entails studying and learning to apply leadership best practices. Best practices are the actions and procedures that society accepts as being the more effective, efficient, safe, etc. Recommended best practices may be industry specific, such as no glass at the pool, or even regulated by compliance agencies such as food preparation requirements and local health departments. Leadership best practices, then, are the recommended actions and behaviors for leaders to lead effectively. Many of these stretch across industries and are aimed at inspiring others, managing projects and people, making decisions, starting a business, etc. Some of these, like the example above with the local health departments, are regulated by both industry and government oversight. For example, human relations management, or HR, is one branch of leadership that is heavily regulated. HR leaders' best practices, therefore, include a heavy dose of legal compliance advice and standards. Leadership best practices are also often a framework for ethical business practices. And these include things like what can and cannot be asked during interviews, understanding privacy laws, following fair pay standards, and many more. Leadership best practices, then, are vital to effectively leading others and achieving organizational goals and vision. Learning and following leadership best practices, then, are key to overall success as a leader. Modern leadership best practices are the foundation for both ethical and effective leadership. However, one of the most important elements to take away with you from this tutorial is that leadership best practices are essentially where the rubber meets the road in terms of honing leadership skills, applying leadership theory, and finding your groove as a situational leader able to navigate the complexities of leadership. This is because leadership best practices are essentially practices and behaviors that can be learned. When studied and practiced, leadership best practices make us better leaders, better followers, and overall more successful in our business and professional activities. Some of these best practices entail self-study, such as improving communication skills, trying new things, being a lifelong learner, self-awareness exercises, self-assessment, and self-improvement plans. But some of these best practices must be achieved through direct application or through advanced study. To become a more effective leader, then, we need to familiarize ourselves with best practices, apply best practices in our personal and professional lives, assess our success and our failures, make necessary adjustments, and repeat. Chances are you've already experienced trial and error leadership situations, so we'll skip over that one and focus on ways to become familiar with best practices and begin the leadership best practices mastery loop. Here are 4 strategies I recommend. Read extensively. Journal articles, books recommended by people you respect, leadership-related hashtags in your news feeds, whatever medium interests you more. The more you read, the more ideas on best practices you'll encounter and be able to add to your toolbox. Consider advanced education. This one isn't for everyone, but earning an advanced degree in business or leadership will no doubt familiarize you with modern leadership best practices. Engage in lifelong learning and leadership professional development, like watching this video. Engaging ways to introduce yourself to new ideas and applications will enhance your leadership skills. Seek mentoring and coaching, or simply advice and feedback. However, always get a second opinion. That brings us to the end of this short overview of leadership best practices. If you're watching this video as part of a certificate program with the Madison School of Professional Development, best of luck to you and the rest of the program, and I hope you'll visit our YouTube channel to see more MSPD instructional videos. If you are joining us today directly from YouTube, I hope you'll like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel below. In this short tutorial, we took a quick look at leadership best practices and ways to begin your journey to master these recommended practices and improve your own leadership skills. I'm Dr. Scott of the Madison School of Professional Development, and it has been a pleasure walking you through these leadership strategies. Until next time, may all your leadership skills be improving.